What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, here today to unbox, review, and talk about this latest second sight release of The Guest on 4K. That is right, The Guest on 4K. So I was super excited to have this show up on my doorstep yesterday afternoon. I pre-ordered this one way back, I think in late August or early September, whenever the pre-order went up. This is one of my favorite movies of the last decade, directed by Adam Wingard. So what I'm going to do with this video, guys, is we're going to do the full unboxing because I haven't even opened this up yet, of this incredible second sight set. So we're going to go to the table, we're going to do the full unboxing, and then I'm going to watch this movie. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you a little bit of a review, my thoughts and opinions on the movie, the transfer, the special features, all that stuff. We're going to get into it in this video, guys. So this is going to be a full, in-depth unboxing review, just all in one. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get into the unboxing of the 4K Second Sight edition of The Guest. Let's get into this bad boy. Oh, my goodness. Let me rip this plastic off right here, guys. I have been waiting for this moment since this arrived yesterday in the mail. I'm just so excited. I'm destroying the camera stand and everything else. So yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on here today, guys. All right, let me get this off here. Why is it this plastic coming off? God, I can't wait. I'm like a little kid on Christmas morning. And let me show you off these cards real quick, guys. These little like postcard things. I'll take this. So this came in on top of this in the box, and these are like the flyers for the dance in the movie, the Halloween dance in the film. So right here you have like a Bride of Frankenstein type feel, and I'll kind of show this. So this is a really cool like extra add-on to this set right here. So yeah, Second Sight. This is the first time that I've ordered something from them outright. So very cool. I do have that Dawn of the Dead 4K edition, but I didn't get that directly from Second Sight. So right here, showing these cards off to you guys. So yeah, definitely nice touch right there from Second Sight. So yeah, I'm excited. We got the J card that's like falling off already. So I'll just zoom in on these special features right here, guys, and the synopsis up at the top. Down here at the bottom. This is such a cool, slick little movie, though, guys. If you have not seen The Guest, highly recommend this movie. Even if you don't pick up this Second Sight set, because I believe this is like an $80 set right now. This is going for. It might have dropped in price, but I paid $80 for it for a pre-order. So very expensive. So if you don't want to get this, you know, order the Blu-ray. I've recommended it several times on the channel, though. I'm always talking about this movie, so I love it. Right here, you got this cool image of Maika Monroe on the back with the little waitress dress. And on the front, of course, you got Dan Stevens. I just love the coloring on this set. Just the, you know, the purples and the teals and the pinks and stuff. Just great work all around in the coloring of this set. So let's go ahead and take it out. Right here, guys, you got some more cards. I'll take them out of the set. Yeah, you can just tell the kind of care that was put into the packaging and the presentation of this set. You just don't get this kind of stuff with studio releases. This is just something that when you tear into it, you can just tell it was made by people who love this movie, who love film in general. So right here, guys, you got this postcard the same as the cover. This is the same as the back. And then you got this other one, Maika Monroe looking stunning in this little skull tank top shirt. You got Dan Stevens right here looking stunning also. I don't want to be sexist. He's also looking very stunning in this picture and like the green lighting. You got Maika Monroe again, and then you got Dan Stevens. This is one of my favorite shots from the film when he's holding that gun right there in the red light. So yeah, this is just the film just has a really cool aesthetic to it. I can't wait to get into it and see what it looks like in 4K. Right here, guys, you have this 160-page booklet right here. I'm not going to go through every page, but you know, we'll flip through a little bit of it, kind of show you all what it's got. It's got a little I don't know what you call this. It's like the storyboard drawings, like what happens in the film. This is one of my favorite scenes of the entire film, the bar fight. It's such a funny scene. Yeah, you got some of the scripts, I guess. Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff in here, guys. All kinds of All kinds of cool stuff. You got the fireman inside the Halloween dance. Nice little image right there. Cool image. All right, set this to the side and get into this. See if there's anything else in here. No, nothing else in here. You got another image of Malcolm Monroe right there. Go ahead and take this apart. Flip it open. And you got your disc arts. Right here, you got your Ultra HD disc. You got your Second Sight Films Blu-ray disc. And over here, you got the soundtrack. Oh, so that's cool. I love the soundtrack and score to this. So definitely a nice touch. I'm glad that they included that. I didn't even realize the CD was included in this. So that is pretty awesome. So yeah, there you go. I'll take the disc out and see if there's anything behind them, but I don't think that there is. I don't think there is, guys. It's just an awesome set. Incredible set. So, all right, guys, at this point, we are going to pop this sucker in to the 4K player, and we're going to watch it, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about this release in the movie, see how the transfer is, and yeah, we're going to talk about it. Let's do it. All right, guys, getting ready to boot up The Guest, and this title screen is freaking insane. It just looks so good. I just finished my watch through of The Guest, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about this beautiful Second Sight release, which I unboxed, and God, that was such a so many incredible things in the packaging here. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the movie with you guys for a second. I'm going to talk about the transfer. I'm going to do a little comparison to the previous 2014 Blu-ray, just as far as like the visual and audio quality. And then we're going to talk about the special features. So right out of the gate, guys, I just want to say that this is the first Second Sight release. I believe that, I know it's the first one that I've ever reviewed, but I believe it's the first one I've ever watched as well. And just overall, like, I'm incredibly happy with this release. So right out of the gate, first Second Sight experience, I'm extremely happy with it. And I'm also just really happy and excited that they're remastering and redoing films like this. I think it's really cool that just obscure action thrillers that not enough people talk about are getting this kind of treatment from these boutique labels. So thank you, Second Sight, for bringing some attention to this just highly underrated and underappreciated little film from 2014. So getting into this movie, guys, of course, this movie is directed by Adam Wingard. If you don't know who Adam Wingard is, he's one of my personal favorite directors from the past few years. He did You're Next in 2013, which is like a home invasion horror slasher film, which I thought is just fantastic. It's still one of my favorites. I love that movie. He also did the Blair Witch, not remake, but kind of sequel kind of movie that I think is super underappreciated too. I really like that movie. More recently, he did Godzilla vs. Kong, which was a big blockbuster hit for him. And he also did some segments in the VHS franchise as well, the found footage VHS series. So I'm a big fan of Adam Wingard. I always have been. Yes, he did the Death Note movie on Netflix, but we'll try to forget that movie exists. So I love Adam Wingard. He's a personal favorite of mine. Just want to say that going out of the gate. Writer Simon Barrett, the writer of this film is Simon Barrett. Those two are kind of like a writing, directing duo, kind of in the same way that James Wan and Lee Winnell are. And not so much anymore, but like James Wan, Lee Winnell both wrote and directed, the Saw movie. It's kind of the same thing with Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett. They just had that built-in chemistry. They both worked with on You're Next together. They worked on this film together, and I think they worked on the Blair Witch reboot together as well. So they both, you can just tell, like in the commentaries and the special features, and we're going to get into this release has so many great special features. You can just tell they had that kind of built-in chemistry and just love for each other and appreciation for each other and just a great working relationship. that I have to imagine is kind of rare in this industry. So it's really cool when you get to see something like that. Also starring Dan Stevens, who before this was really only known for the Downton Abbey show, which I really know nothing about. So I just know a lot of people like that show. It's like a British melodrama type show. I'm not really sure, but everybody loved Dan Stevens in that show. He was also in Beauty and the Beast, the live action Beauty and the Beast. He was the man version of the Beast. I think he also played the Beast too, maybe the voice of it. But he was in that movie. You got Maca Monroe in this movie, which I think she's super underrated. I wish she would do more stuff. It kind of feels like she did this movie and It Follows, and then just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And I think she's great in this and It Follows. And she did the Independence Day resurgence. I think that killed her career after that. But Brendan Meyer, really, really cool child actor in this film, which he's much older now. But, you know, this is one that I feel like literally for years, since I saw this in like 2015, 2016, I think the first time I saw it was on Netflix. Which they also go into in the special features, just talking about how this movie didn't really garner a fan base until it was released on Netflix. It kind of flopped at the box office and in the theater when it was released. So I watched this on Netflix, I think in 2015, 2016, around that time. The movie just blew me away when I watched it. I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Just found a random movie on Netflix. I'm like, oh, I'll try this one out. It looks kind of interesting. And I watched this movie just knowing nothing about it, no hype behind it. I just didn't know anything about it. Nobody was talking about this movie, and it blew me away. Ever since then, it's not like the best movie ever made or anything. I always say it's like one of the best movies of the 2010s. In my opinion, it is. But I can totally see you watching this and be like, oh, that's a fun action horror thriller. You know, I don't want to hype it up too much, but for my expectations going into this, it just, oh my God, it just blew me away. It was just so much more than I thought it was going to be. And ever since then, I constantly talk about this movie. When anybody talks about an underappreciated gem, what's your favorite underrated movie? What's one of your favorite movies that nobody ever talks about? I always bring up The Guest. It's always a movie that I recommend. Ever since like I've done my reviews on Instagram, ever since, you know, I started my YouTube channel, I feel like all the time I'm bringing this movie up. It's one of my favorite movies from the past 10 years. I love this film. I've probably seen it before this release. I've probably seen this movie at least 6 or 7 times. I know I watched it a few times back on Netflix. I bought this Blu-ray a few years ago. I watched it. It's one I try to watch once a year. I really love this movie. So I want you all to know that going in. I'm just a big fan. That's how I was super excited when Second Sight decided to do this. So it's just, to me, like The Guest is just, like I said, it's not a masterpiece, but it's a really cool, slick, stylish horror thriller with a little bit of action, sci-fi. Like it just has so many genres rolled into one. It's so many different things. There's some mystery elements in there. There's some political intrigue that's kind of thrown in there. There's a lot going on in this movie, but it really boils down to, you got Dan Stevens, this military guy who basically infiltrates this family. And at first, you know, it seems like he's just trying to help them, trying to overcome the grief for the loss of their son, who was his partner in the military. That's his connection to this family. That's how he finds him in the beginning. And I'm going to try not to spoil anything in this. Like I'll give you the setup, but I don't really want to spoil it, because this movie goes in some different directions, some directions that you're not going to expect, especially considering how this movie starts off. But it's fantastic. But yeah, you got Dan Stevens infiltrating this family. I know your son, you know, kind of capitalizing on their grief, kind of taking advantage of them a little bit, but not really, because and that's the thing that I love about this movie. When you meet Dan Stevens, you know there's some darkness to him. You know there's some sinister like undertones to him and his character. But when he comes in, he does feel very genuine, very sincere. And he does things, some of the actions he takes in this movie in the first 30 to 45 minutes, you find yourself really rooting for him and rooting for this family. And you want them all to just work together and just overcome some of their obstacles that they have going on. Like the kids got bullying problems at the school. You know, the father's kind of the overworked, underappreciated, you know, middle managers trying to work his way up but can't ever get there. You know, the mom's just overcome with all of her grief from the loss of her son. You know, the daughter's got relationship issues. Like everybody's got their own issues outside of this family. Dan Stevens is kind of just infiltrating in there and just kind of trying to help them all out individually. And you really like this dynamic between him and the family early on in the movie. But you know there's something up with Dan Stevens' character. You know there's something there that he's just not telling them. And I just really like the way that they set it up to really make you feel for all these characters and just invest in them. That's something that just movies don't do very well anymore. And this movie just does it really well and just setting everybody up. You know, and it does feel like just a real throwback to those early like 80s Carpenter films, like, you know, like a Halloween. I can see a little bit of the Halloween elements in there. But also, you know, Escape from New York, just with like the kind of action thriller type vibes. It does like The Fog with the score, like it does have a real like Halloween, like fall aesthetic because it's set during that time. So you get those feels in there as well. So just like tonally and just the vibe and the overall cinematic sensibility, you get those Carpenter vibes throughout this film. And they talk about it, you know, in the special features and the commentary. They were, Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett were heavily influenced by Halloween and the Terminator when they made this film. They were like, we love both of those movies. What would it be like if we tried to combine those together and then kind of, you know, come up with a new script for something that's like kind of different and original, but kind of combine those two, the vibes of those two films together and make a film. So Dan Stevens in this movie is fantastic. It's easily the best performance I've ever seen him give. But like I said, I haven't seen Downton Abbey, but he's very like posh and prim and proper, like in the special features. You know, he's a British actor. So when you're listening to him talk about his character in the special features, like you can't see the character of David when he's talking. It's like those two are just like night and day, like Dan Stevens, the actor, and then David. So he is just transforms into this character of David, does such a great job doing that. So yeah, Dan Stevens, absolutely phenomenal. He has so many great scenes in this. Just the scene, you know, the rock quarry scene is fantastic when he kind of turns on those two guys that are selling him the drugs. Not the drugs, the guns. My favorite is the bar scene when he's sending the girls the blowjob shots. He's in there with the kid, you know, trying to help him with the bullies. And the guy asks him, do you want to send their fellas anything? And he just kind of looks at him just stone cold. It's like, does it look like I want to send their fellows anything? It's so good. He's great in just every single line that he delivers. Just his overall presence and tone and just natural charisma just oozing out of Dan Stevens in this movie. I absolutely love him. Maika Monroe, like I said, I think she's super underrated. I wish she was getting some more work. She's really phenomenal in this movie. She plays just kind of like a normal teenage girl type character, you know, with her relationship issues, but she's got a little bit of a darker edge and vibe to her as well. And I've just always liked Maika Monroe. I just wish she would do more stuff. I love It Follows in this movie. So I want her to have some more breakout roles like that. The kid in this movie, Brandon Myers, really great. The actor and actress that play. I recognize the dad from other films. I think he was in The Bone Collector. You know, he's been in some other stuff. He's like a, you know, character actor that you don't really know the name of, but when you see him, you know that you've seen him somewhere. He's really great of just kind of, like I said, this overworked father. The mom's really great, just kind of her display of grief throughout the film. Just some really great performance in this movie throughout. You got Ethan Embry that shows up for like 5 minutes in this movie. I always love seeing him. You got the guy from Grandma's Boy, like the nerdy guy that's in this. You'll see him pop up in other movies. So just a really fun cast of just people that, you know, when you see them, you know you've seen them before. So I enjoy this movie. Like I said, it's a really fun mystery thriller. The score is great. You get those 80s synth wave vibes, like the score by Steve Moore. You can just tell he was heavily influenced, just like the writer and director was heavily influenced. Everybody was heavily influenced by John Carpenter in the making of this film. I'm telling you guys, if you like John Carpenter films, the old like 80s, late 70s John Carpenter films, you're gonna love this movie. Yeah, like I said, great fall vibes. Overall, guys, it's not like a masterpiece, but I'll give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. I really love this movie. So getting into the transfer. So this is a new transfer that was, you know, supervised by Adam Wingard. You know, he got a chance to do a new color grading on the 4K and the Blu-ray for this release. So you're getting the new color grading on the Blu-ray and the 4K. And for the 4K, it's region free because every 4K is region free. And then for the Blu-ray of this one, because it is, you know, second sight, it is a international release. It is region B if you want to play the Blu-ray. And then, like we showed off in the unboxing, you get the soundtrack to it as well. So it is presented in you know, HDR, Dolby Vision. As far as the transfer, guys, I think it's a really solid transfer. It's a nice, crisp transfer. It's got a much higher contrast level than the older Blu-ray. You got more defined darks and black levels in this transfer. The colors are very vibrant. It just feels like a very rich, colorful experience throughout when you're watching this film. There are some parts that really stand out and really just lend themselves better to that HDR transfer. There is, however, if you're not a big fan of the grain, I did notice it's not it's not a high amount of grain. But there's a fair amount of grain. I feel like they balance it pretty good, but you can tell that, and Wingard talks about this again in the special features. I actually listened to and watched a lot of the special features in this. He did want to kind of bring back that old school like film feel to this when he got a chance to go back and kind of do some work on it and punch it up for this second sight release. He talked about how, in addition to doing the new color grading, which he wasn't happy with the previous one that came out, he did want to, bring back that old school film feel to it. So there is a fair amount of grain in this transfer right here that to be honest, I didn't really notice in the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray seemed much clearer and just a little bit more sharper in its presentation. It's a really good transfer overall, guys. Really sharp. You can just notice details in the 4K that you don't notice in the Blu-ray, in particular in the rock quarry. And I'm not going to spoil the scene or what happens, but you have the guy with the blood splattered on his face. One thing I'll notice, and I'm going to be doing some comparative images, but you can just tell like in the background, like the rocks, the contrast level is much higher, and you can just tell the detail of every single rock, like the size and the shape of the rocks. You can notice like every single rock in the background of that 4K transfer because of that contrast level that's just turned way up. Whereas in the Blu-ray, it just looks like a sandy, dirty, like you can notice a few rocks here and there kind of background. So there's much more detail present in that 4K transfer in that rock quarry scene. Also, with the dance, like, to be honest, like I was a little bit disappointed with like the colors and the dance scene. Not that it's bad or anything. I think it's more of a testament to just how great the transfer is with the Blu-ray. But in that dance scene, the colors just didn't really look that much more vibrant in the 4K than they did in the Blu-ray. It kind of looked kind of similar to me. So, which again, it's not really a knock on the 4K. I just think it's more of a testament to how great this initial Blu-ray transfer is. But with the new color grading, I just thought they would look a little different to me. That just in that dance scene, the scene where Dan Stevens is kind of standing in all the spotlights, the green spotlights and stuff, it kind of just looked similar to me. But I think that this movie really shines in the spots that I wasn't necessarily expecting it to shine in, which is like just the outside, like sweeping shots, just like the random shots in the house. Monroe's dress when she walks out in the waitress dress for the first time to meet Dan Stevens' character. The blues and the yellows, and just she has much better contrast in her face in the 4K than in the Blu-ray. Like you can just tell those colors on that dress are much more vibrant on the 4K than the Blu-ray. So those are the kind of scenes where you'll notice like a big substantial difference in the transfer. So I feel like I'm kind of knocking this transfer. I'm not. It's a very strong transfer and absolutely worth the upgrade for this 4K release. So getting into the audio, it's the exact same audio, DTS HD Master 5.1. It's the exact same as a Blu-ray. So I don't know if Second Sight has a reputation of not doing Dolby Atmos. I haven't really dug into a lot of their other 4K releases, but no Dolby Atmos is present in this release. It is just the DTS HD Master, so I know that might turn a few people off. As far as the special features, guys, there's just loads of great special features. I would say close to 3 hours. If you want to count the audio commentary, it's maybe about 4.5 to 5 hours worth of new special features. So you get new interviews with Dan Stevens and Mac Monroe. I watched both of those. Both were great. You get a new 45-minute interview with Adam Wingard, Simon Barrett. Great interview. You get that new audio commentary, 2021 audio commentary with Simon Barrett and Adam Wingard, which is fantastic because they really go into the process of the remastering process and just the stuff that they wanted to change with this new transfer. And it's really insightful and really cool to just kind of hear them talk about this film and just talk about how The difference in their perspective from the older audio commentary, which they did in 2013, they didn't really know how successful this movie was going to be at that point. So with this one, they had a lot more perspective on just how the movie has performed and how the movie has kind of grown more of a cult-like following in recent years, and just how they were initially disappointed with, the reception of this movie, and how now they're more proud of just how it's grown in popularity over the years, which, again, thanks to Second Sight, for releasing this and putting it out to even more people and just kind of expanding that, And I mean, Second Sight and Netflix as well. Like, Netflix really helped this film also. So yeah, that's a great commentary by those two. I listened to probably like an hour of that. And also like great new interviews with the composer, with the cinematographer, with the producers. Like, there is so many great new special features. So one thing, you do get the deleted scenes and the outtakes and stuff in the Second Sight release. But one thing I was noticed was absent in this that was on the Blu-ray was the Q&A with Dan Stevens. So that's one special feature I did not notice on the Second Sight release. So there you go. The Blu-ray has one special feature that the Second Sight does not. But yeah, just great special features across the board. Like, you don't get a lot of releases with 5 hours of new special features. And it was really cool seeing everybody just kind of with their new, fresh perspective on just how the film has performed over the past 5 years and how it's gained a bigger fan base and a bigger following. And it's just really cool to hear them all talk about that. So great special features, guys. Great packaging. The transfer is fantastic. The movie is fantastic. This is going for right now, I think, $57 on Amazon. I would say at that price point, it is absolutely worth a pickup. I bought this for close to $80 when I pre-ordered it from Second Sight. So I don't know if I would pay that much. If you really love the movie, like, it might be worth it. It was worth it to me. But yeah, the transfer is really good. The Blu-ray transfer is really good too. But with this one, you are really paying for those 5 hours of additional special features. You're paying for this just awesome, prestigious Second Sight packaging right here, guys. That's where a lot of your money is going with this. So $57, I say it's absolutely worth it. I'm going to leave that link down below in the description if you guys want to check this out. So with that, guys, that concludes the very long, lengthy review of the guest 4K Second Sight release. I appreciate everybody watching. Please comment down below your thoughts on this film. Did you pick this release up? Let me know in that comment section below. Also, be sure to like this video, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more great 4K reviews and physical media content. And be sure to turn on those bell notifications for all future videos. And we'll see you next time.